In the 1950s, as America stood at the crossroads of technological triumph and Cold War paranoia, one man dared to dream of a future beyond the stars. His name was Otis T. Carr, an enigmatic inventor from Oklahoma, who claimed to have unlocked the secrets of interstellar travel. His invention, the OTC-X1 Flying Saucer, promised to defy gravity, harness cosmic energies, and carry humanity into a new era of exploration. This is the story of Carr's audacious vision, his rise to fame, and the dramatic fall that left his legacy shrouded in mystery. A tale of ambition, controversy, and the unrelenting pursuit of the impossible.
Otis T. Carr was born in 1904 in Elkins, West Virginia, a small town far removed from the scientific hubs of the era. From an early age, Carr was a dreamer, fascinated by the mysteries of electricity and the tales of inventors like Nikola Tesla, whose work on wireless energy captivated his imagination. With little formal education, he relied on self-study, devouring books on physics and engineering while working odd jobs as a hotel clerk and mechanic. By the 1940s, Carr had settled in Baltimore, where he claimed to have met Tesla himself, a brief encounter that would shape his life's mission. Tesla, Carr later said, entrusted him with ideas for revolutionary technologies, including a device that could tap the universe's hidden energies. The 1950s were a time of boundless possibility and existential fear. The space race was heating up, with the Soviet Union's Sputnik launch in 1957 igniting American ambitions. At the same time, UFO sightings were sweeping the nation, fueling public fascination with extraterrestrial life. Carr saw an opportunity to bridge these worlds, science and speculation, earthbound technology, and cosmic dreams. Inspired by Tesla's theories of electromagnetic fields, he began developing the OTC-X1, a circular craft he claimed could achieve anti-gravity propulsion. Unlike the rockets of NASA, which relied on brute force, Carr's saucer promised to glide effortlessly, powered by a mysterious interplay of electricity and magnetism. The OTC-X1 was unlike anything the world had seen. Carr described it as a 45-foot diameter disk, resembling the flying saucers of popular lore, with a hull of polished aluminum and a central cabin for passengers. Its propulsion system, he claimed, was based on a neutron electric accumulator, a device that generated energy by spinning counter-rotating magnetic fields. Carr said of the neutron, "This is a dimensional product. It was designed with the dimensions of space itself. We say it is truly the geometric form of space because it is completely round and completely square. It has been proven in scientific laboratories that the very smallest unit of mass matter ever photographed in the electron microscope are square in shape. We have applied this principle into an electrified system, which is the power core of our space vehicle." To Carr, the OTC-X1 was not just a machine, it was a gateway to the stars, capable of reaching the moon in hours or even venturing to distant galaxies. By 1957, Carr had founded OTC Enterprises in Baltimore, a company dedicated to building and commercializing his saucer. He was a charismatic showman, with a knack for drawing crowds and investors. His public lectures, filled with diagrams of spinning magnets and promises of a utopian future, attracted dreamers, engineers, and UFO enthusiasts alike. Carr claimed the OTC-X1 was nearly complete, with smaller prototype models already demonstrating levitation in his workshop. In one widely reported demonstration, a 6-foot model reportedly hovered briefly, powered by what Carr called electromagnetic propulsion. Witnesses were awestruck, and newspapers dubbed him the Tesla of the space age, a moniker that fueled his growing fame. Carr's vision extended beyond technology. He spoke of a new era for humanity, where free energy would eliminate poverty, and interstellar travel would unite civilizations. His rhetoric resonated with the counterculture of the time, blending science fiction with spiritual optimism. He claimed to have received insights from higher intelligences, a nod to the UFO contactee movement that was gaining traction. Yet Carr was careful to ground his claims in science, citing Tesla's patents and his own experiments with electromagnetic fields. This duality, part engineer, part mystic, made him a magnetic figure, but it also sowed the seeds of his downfall. As Carr's fame grew, so did scrutiny. In 1958, he announced plans to launch a full-scale OTC-X1 from an Oklahoma airfield, promising a trip to the moon and back by December 7, 1959. The announcement drew global attention, with thousands of investors buying stock in OTC enterprises. Carr's brochures, filled with glossy illustrations of the saucer, promised returns that seemed too good to be true. He claimed the craft could travel at 800,000 miles per hour, powered by a self-sustaining energy system that required no fuel. But when pressed for details, Carr was evasive, citing proprietary secrets and the need to protect his technology from foreign spies. This secrecy, while tantalizing, raised red flags among scientists and regulators. The scientific community was skeptical from the start. Physicists argued that Carr's claims violated known laws of gravity and energy conservation. The American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics dismissed the OTC-X1 as unfeasible, and NASA, focused on chemical rockets, showed no interest. Yet Carr's supporters, including some engineers who witnessed his prototypes, insisted he was onto something revolutionary. They pointed to his detailed schematics and the undeniable charisma of a man who seemed to believe his own promises. For a public weary of Cold War tensions, Carr's vision of a peaceful, spacefaring future was intoxicating, even if it defied conventional wisdom. One of Carr's most successful endeavors was an amusement park ride that allowed visitors to ride his OTC-X1 Flying Saucer. By 1959, Carr's empire began to crumble. The Securities and Exchange Commission launched an investigation into OTC enterprises, accusing Carr of selling unregistered securities and making fraudulent claims. Investors, who had poured thousands of dollars into the project, grew restless as the promised moon launch was repeatedly delayed. Carr blamed sabotage, claiming government agents and oil companies were conspiring to suppress his technology. He relocated to Apple Valley, California, hoping to escape scrutiny. He started another company with the promise of opening a plant to build his flying saucers. Yet the pressure to produce a fully functional prototype mounted. In April 1960, a test flight of a smaller OTC-X1 model in Oklahoma ended in failure when the craft failed to lift off, further eroding his credibility. The final blow came in 1961 when Carr was indicted for securities fraud. Prosecutors argued that the OTC-X1 was a fantasy, a scheme to defraud investors with no working prototype. Carr's trial was a media circus, with supporters rallying outside the courthouse, convinced he was a victim of a government cover-up. Carr defended himself passionately, claiming the government had seized his blueprints and that his technology was being reverse-engineered in secret labs. But the evidence was damning. No functional saucer was ever produced, and financial records showed mismanagement of investor funds. Convicted and fined, Carr was sentenced to a brief jail term. Released in 1962, Carr abandoned his UFO projects and retreated from the public eye. His restless spirit and engineering zeal didn't allow him to lay low for long. In 1964, he launched Carr Gravity Electrodynamic Systems, a company that claimed to have constructed a functional free energy device. However, he was unable to land any buyers and was forced to close the plant in 1966. Carr's health deteriorated, and he died in 1982, largely forgotten by the mainstream but revered in fringe circles. His blueprints, preserved by devoted followers, remain a tantalizing enigma, studied by those who believe he cracked the code to anti-gravity. Ralph Ring, a technician who worked for Carr in the 50s and 60s, gave an interview later in his life. According to Ring, when the Model U-trons were powered up to operational speed, the metal turned to jello. You could push your finger right into it. It ceased to be solid. It turned into another form of matter, which was as if it was not entirely here in this reality. That's the only way I can attempt to describe it. It was uncanny, one of the weirdest sensations I've ever felt. He went on to say, "I no longer talk about it. It's no fun being laughed at and ridiculed, but I've described it exactly as it occurred." The OTC-X1 Flying Saucer never reached the stars, but its story endures as a testament to human ambition and the allure of the unknown. Was Otis T. Carr a visionary silenced by powerful interests, or a dreamer who believed his own illusions? The truth likely lies in the gray space between. His saucer, with its spinning magnets and cosmic promises, was a product of an era when anything seemed possible, when UFOs filled the skies and the future felt limitless.